Welcome to the deep dive. We've got some really fascinating sources you sent in, and today, well, we're starting a journey into something really fundamental. It's about the human soul, its incredible potential for, amazing good, but also for messing things up. And we're looking at this through Surah Asy-Syams. We've got perspectives here from Ustad Adi Hidayat and K.H. Mohammed Bakihit, both really respected scholars, unpacking the wisdom in this 91st surah. And our goal, really, for you listening, is to see how this ancient wisdom can give you actual practical guidance for navigating life today, managing your inner world, for finding real success and happiness. Okay, so let's dig in. First off, let's set the scene a bit. Surah Asy-Syams is the 91st surah, and it's a Makkiyah surah. Now, that fact alone tells something important, doesn't it, about the original context.
Oh, absolutely. What's really fascinating is that Makkiyah surahs, they were generally revealed when the early Muslim community was, well, often a minority. They were dealing with intense pressures,
Yeah.
a society that was very materialistic, complex. So the surah wasn't just like abstract theology. It came out of real world struggles. It was about resilience, finding life's true purpose beyond just worldly stuff.
Yeah.
It speaks directly to how you face those kinds of challenges.
Right, and the way it starts.
Right.
Wow. These incredible oaths. Allah swears by the sun, its light, the moon that follows it,
The day revealing the sun.
the night covering it, the sky, its creation, the earth, and how it's spread out. I mean, why this huge cosmic buildup?
Well, if you connect the dots, these huge natural things, they're so clear, so undeniable, right? They're not just poetic. They're setting the stage for something even more profound, the human soul itself. And the really staggering insight is that the ultimate oath is sworn by that soul and its creation, declaring that Allah inspires it with both things, both the capacity for good, that's taqwa, and also the potential for, well, for fujur, for going off track.
For self-sabotage, almost.
Exactly. It's like a paradox built right into us, a choice we have, not just a struggle we face.
Okay, so that's where it gets really interesting. We have taqwa, that sort of inner compass for good, and then fujur, saying the soul is inspired with potential for bad actions. It sounds a bit contradictory at first glance, doesn't it? How does Ustad Adi Hidayat explain fujur being a catalyst? What does that mean?
Yeah, it's a key point he makes. Fujur isn't just, evil existing for no reason. He sees it more as a paradoxically necessary element. Think about anger, for example. That's a manifestation of fujur. He argues it's not there just to make us angry all the time. It's there to give us the chance to practice patience, sabar, which is part of taqwa. Without that friction, that challenge from within, how would virtues like patience actually get stronger? How would they be tested?
That's powerful. So the negative impulses, the things that could lead us wrong, are actually raw material for growth.
In a sense, yes. Taqwa is like the peak of goodness in us. Honesty, humility, perseverance, that inner voice guiding you right. But fujur, if it takes control, it can actually direct the soul, even the intellect, towards negative things. And this highlights something important. Someone really intelligent but with a corrupt heart. They can be even more dangerous. They get clever about doing wrong. So this dual potential means we're always facing a really fundamental choice inside.
And making that choice, as both Ustad Adi Hidayat and K.H. Mohammed Bakit emphasize, is directly linked to achieving falah, which means true success, happiness.
True success, lasting happiness, yeah, follow. And they both say it comes down to actively managing this inner landscape. They use the term cleansing the soul. Taskia.
Okay, cleansing the soul. For someone listening, what does that practically involve? It sounds quite profound.
Well, K.H. Mohammed Bakiyat makes it clear it's not about aiming for sinlessness. Only prophets achieve that. For the rest of us, it's about actively working to purify ourselves from misdeeds. And he points specifically to 3 mother sins, like root evils.
Mother sins.
Yeah, because they're like the toxic roots, you see. So many other vices sprout from them. They poison the whole inner garden. The idea is if you cleanse these first, you deal with a whole lot of other problems automatically.
That makes sense. So what are these 3 big ones, these mother sins we really need to tackle?
Okay, they are al-hasad, which is envy or jealousy. Then al-kirsu, greed or covetousness. And finally, al-kibro, arrogance or pride.
Right. Let's take envy first. Al-hasad, I think everyone's felt that sting, seeing someone else get something great. How do the sources talk about it?
They use a really vivid image. They say envy eats up good deeds like fire consumes dry wood.
Wow. That's intense.
It is. It shows how destructive it is internally. It leads to backbiting, slander, all sorts of negative behaviors. But there's nuance here, too. The sources distinguish between harmful envy, like actively wishing someone loses their blessings, or wanting those blessings for yourself instead of them. and what they call a permissible kind of envy. That's where you see good in someone else and you desire similar good for yourself, but crucially, without wanting it taken away from the other person.
So it's about motivation, wanting to improve yourself versus wanting someone else to fall.
Exactly. It's a fine but critical line.
Got it. Okay, what about the second one? Greed, like hirsu. How does that work as a mother sin?
Greed, well, the sources describe it manifesting as being completely consumed by chasing worldly things, so much so that you neglect your duties to God, to family, to community, or maybe just piling up wealth simply to show off for the status.
Right, the accumulation itself becomes the goal.
Precisely. But again, like envy, there's a flip side. There's a striving for wealth that isn't condemned. That's when someone works hard, accumulates, but doesn't neglect their duties, doesn't do it out of pride, and has a good intention maybe to provide, to give charity, etc.
So again, it's the why behind it
Yeah.
and the effect it has on your connection to what matters.
Absolutely. The intention and the impact on your spiritual well-being are key.
Okay, and the third one, arrogance, al-kibro. This one feels particularly serious in the way it's described.
It really is. It's seen as tracing back to Iblis himself. It's considered incredibly dangerous because it leads you to look down on others, to belittle them, and maybe even reject truth when it comes to you.
Reject truth. How so?
Because if you think you're superior, you might dismiss guidance or correction, even if it's right, simply because of who it comes from or because it challenges your self-image. The sources really emphasize how severe it is. They say even a tiny amount, like a mustard seed's weight of arrogance in the heart, can prevent someone from entering paradise.
A mustard seed. That's tiny. It really underscores how fundamental humility is.
It's not just seen as a character flaw, it's like a fundamental blockage to spiritual growth, to connecting with the divine and with others properly.
You know, listening to this, it feels so relevant. It's ancient wisdom, but the challenge is materialism, pressure to fit in, our values being tested. They feel very valid now. How does this connect directly to us today?
Well, Ustad's Adi Hidayat makes that exact point. He stresses that the kinds of challenges faced back then, in the Jahiliyyah period, that time of ignorance before Islam really took hold, things like materialism, social pressures, challenges to belief.
Yeah.
They echo very strongly in our world today. The forms might be different, maybe more subtle sometimes, but the core issues are similar. But just like back then, he says, there are also enlighteners, people, offering guidance, wisdom. And the core message from the surah hasn't changed at all. Prioritize managing your soul with taqwa. Actively cultivate the good. Don't let the fujur side, those base desires, take over.
Okay, so we need to identify and work on avoiding these root sins, envy, greed, arrogance. But how do we actively build up the good side, strengthen our taqwa? What's the practical approach there?
The sources are very clear on this. It comes through ibadah, acts of worship.
Like prayer, charity.
Exactly. Prayer, giving charity, zakat, and sadaqah, fasting. These are all described as direct ways to strengthen your soul's connection to Allah. And by doing that, you reinforce the good within you, the taqwa. But it's not just rituals. Seeking knowledge is huge. Understanding your faith, understanding yourself, and also the company you keep. Surrounding yourself with righteous people, people who encourage good, that's highlighted as really vital for purifying yourself.
It's a whole package deal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Worship, learning, community, all working together.
It's a holistic approach, rooted in that spiritual understanding of who we are and what we're striving for.
So bringing this all together, this deep dive into Surah Asy-Syams, hearing from these scholars, it really shows that navigating life, finding that falah, that success, it's not just about what we do externally. It's fundamentally an inner journey. It's about knowing you have these two potentials inside taqwa and fujur. And then actively choosing, actively cleansing those mother sins we talked about. And just constantly nurturing the best parts of your soul through worship, through wisdom.
Right. And it really leaves you with a question to think about, doesn't it? Real success and happiness truly come down to purifying yourself, your inner state. Then what steps can you actually take right now? How can you better align what you do with your deepest, best intentions? Especially when the world throws all these temptations and distractions at you. How do you not just clean up your own inner house, but actually become, as the scholars might say, an opener of good? Someone who brings benefit in your own life, your own circle.
An opener of good. That's a really powerful thought to sit with.